If you have anxiety, you are probably doing this in your life as a way to cope with your anxiety. And I promise you, what you are doing right now is actually making your anxiety 100 times worse. And I need you to really listen carefully to the words that I'm going to share in this video because I'm going to tell you how to stop doing this one thing. And this is going to really help you break out of the anxiety that you're experiencing. Because let's be honest, anxiety is expensive. Anxiety is costing you so much in your life, from opportunities, from relationships you could be having, from experiences you could be experiencing. And instead, you are preventing yourself from really opening up and going and doing all of those things because anxiety causes you to overthink. Anxiety causes you to question your value, your worth, and anxiety just really keeps you in your head. And the more that you stay stuck in your head, the more that you are going to be a victim and powerless to anxiety. So let's talk about how to take your power back. If you're new to this channel, my name is Dr. Bisley Natley. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapy certified naturopathic doctor, and I help people rewire their brain naturally. And I talk very openly on this channel about my experience with my mental health struggles. And so I had chronic depression, I had very severe anxiety, and had panic attacks, especially in my early 20s. And when I look back at that time in my life, the worst thing that I was doing for my anxiety, and I see this constantly all the time in my patients who are struggling with it too, is avoiding the situations that were making me anxious. And this makes sense. It makes sense why you would do this. Your brain cares about your safety. Your brain doesn't care about your success and happiness. And I wish it was different. I wish that your brain did care about your success and happiness, but it doesn't. And so when you go through a situation and you experience anxiety or panic attack where it doesn't go well, your brain is going to try to do everything to protect you from ever having that experience again. Because in your mind, it's been imprinted that this experience is dangerous. And when your brain thinks that something is dangerous, your brain literally equates that danger to death, even if it's not actually the case. Because most things in our day-to-day world, especially in our modern world that we deal with, if they make us anxious, they're not going to kill us like a saber-toothed tiger would, way back when during the Ice Age days. But that's how your brain treats it. Your brain treats that thing as if it's that saber-toothed tiger that's just going to come out and kill you and eat you. And so understanding this is really critical and important because when you feel like avoiding, I want you to understand it's a protective mechanism because a lot of us, we start to be really mean to ourselves and harsh to ourselves. And I always tell all my patients that the meaner and harsher you are to yourself, the more that you're actually going to end up keeping yourself stuck in where you are right now. And instead of being mean and harsh to yourself, I want you to have some compassion and understand your brain is just simply trying to protect you. And anxiety is just that protection to a whole other extreme level on like some next level steroids, okay? And so that's what I want you to see. Now, what I also want you to understand though is that avoidance is making everything worse because the more that you avoid, the more that you reinforce to your brain that this is too hard, that we can't do this. Just recently in my practice, I was having a conversation with one of my patients who struggles with really extreme anxiety. And she was just talking about how she wants to go away to a cottage for a week, but she has so much anxiety because she's worried about having a panic attack there and what's going to happen if she goes and all of this stuff. And she was, talking to me about how she's probably planning on not going and asked me my opinion on this. And I was like, my professional opinion is that if you avoid this, you're just simply reinforcing the pathways that this is too scary and hard for you to handle. And I told her that at the end of the day, that's your choice what you do, but you have to understand that the more that you avoid things, the more that you're telling your brain that this is too hard and difficult for you to do. And I asked her, I was like, is there any actual real danger there? She said, no, not at all. She's going to be going with her partner and maybe her sister. And it's like, it's a place that she's been to many, many times before, and she's always had a great experience. But because the anxiety has now been the worst it's been in her life, what does she want to do? She wants to stay in her comfort zone. And what's the comfort zone? It's staying at home. And that's what I see for a lot of us who struggle with anxiety. You just want to stay at home, which makes so much sense because your home is your safe space. Hopefully, I hope so. And when it's your safe space, you just want to do nothing but stay there. And I've heard so many of my patients tell me that, if their friends invite them out, they'll like think, many times, do I want to do it? Do I want to really, force myself to go out? And then I have to plan out, what am I going to do if I get anxiety or a panic attack or all these things? And what happens in those moments is that when you say no, instead of being like, I'm going to face this, I'm going to become stronger from this, You are telling your brain that we're too weak to handle this. And so avoidance is the worst thing that you can absolutely do for your anxiety. It's going to make everything 10 times worse, and it's only going to tell your brain that you are too weak. Another example that I have for all of you, it comes from my life, and this is actually something that I faced very recently in my life. So for some reason, I don't know why, but anytime my eyes are like forced shut, so in examples, like if I'm ever getting like a massage done, or if I ever want to get my lashes done, for some reason, if my eyes have to be like forced shut, I get into like a huge panic. I don't know what it is. As I'm doing it right now, it's like I don't know if it's like the darkness and I can't see, and I've had like eye problems since I was like very, very young, so I don't, maybe all that stuff is correlated, maybe there's a deeper issue here, but for some reason it is always giving me such extreme panic and anxiety, to the point where once, this was almost like a year and a half ago now, I went to go get my lashes done for the first time ever, because I'd always wanted to, but because I was just so scared and fearful of this, I never did. And I was sitting down and I was lying down to get them done, and the girl who was doing them, she started to just clean my lashes, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe, I need to open my eyes, I need to open my eyes. And at this point she had like soap literally on my lashes, so she's like, girl, you can't open your eyes right now. And I was like, take it off, like I need to open it. Like I literally felt like I couldn't breathe, and I just couldn't get that lash appointment done. And this was like a year and a half ago, right? And it was just such a shocking moment for me, because I had spent years working on my mental health. I felt like I was in a really good place, and all of a sudden this thing just like led me into like a place of having extreme panic and anxiety. And one of the things that I've always wanted to do is just get rid of this fear. And at that point in my life, I was going through a lot of like stress, and so I was like, this is just not the right time for me to practice and add on more extra stress. But a couple of months ago, I was like, it's time. I need to face this. And so I told the new lash technician that I was going to go see that I do have extreme anxiety. I did take a GABA supplement before. So GABA is your calming hormone and neurotransmitter. I even had an appointment with my therapist before to talk about some strategies as to how I could bravely face the situation. And part of me was really nervous going in, because you have to sit down with your eyes completely shut for like 2 hours, and you can't open them at all, because they put like glue and chemicals around your eyes, and you obviously don't want to damage your actual eye if you end up randomly opening it up. And as a technician is closely working on those lashes, you don't want to randomly open it up, or they could poke your eye, so it can become really dangerous if you don't sit there still. And I was so proud of myself. There were moments where I did notice the panic and the anxiety coming up, but I took those deep breaths. I imagined myself in my happy place. I was at the beach and I was just reading, and my lash tech and I, we basically just yapped the entire 2 hours, and it was just wonderful. It was actually like such a great moment, and internally I was telling myself I was safe, everything is okay. I was taking those deep breaths, I was doing my visualization, and the 2 hours actually passed by so fast. And now I've gotten my lashes done like 6-7 times, and I'm not gonna lie, I do still have moments of anxiety, and if I have had a stressful day, I do notice my anxiety kind of like ramps up, but I'm able to calm myself down, or I'll tell the lash tech, hey, I'm just feeling a little anxious, can we just take a break for a second? And I won't open my eyes still, but I'll just take a breather. I'm like, okay, I'm good, everything's fine. Or I'll ask her, can you just let me know how much longer is left, because that really eases my anxiety. So I've gotten really good at just like vocalizing what I need to support myself in this moment. So there's nothing wrong with getting the support in the moment, because you're still facing the thing, and I faced it. I faced the fear of getting my lashes done. And every single time I continue to go, even though I experience anxiety, what do I tell my brain? I tell my brain that we're strong enough to handle this. And I tell my brain and teach my brain that this is actually safe, and it's okay for us to do this. And so this is what I really need you to understand and see. I want you to take a moment to list out what are the things that make you anxious, then look at how can you create safety around these experiences and face them one by one. Because the more that you face them, the more that you tell your brain, we are strong enough to face this. And the more that you face what makes you anxious, the stronger your brain gets, the stronger you get. And that's the whole point of this. I want you to be extremely strong. I want you to be able to face all the challenges, and we as humans are so, so strong. And when you see those situations in front of you that make you anxious as a way to make your brain stronger, it completely changes the way they impact you and affect you. So go out there, face what makes you anxious, because that's how you build a strong brain. And if you want one-on-one support with this, I got you. Use the link below to book a free 30-minute clarity call with me. I'm also launching a program for the month of August where we meet every single Sunday for 90 minutes and we go through the topics of mindset, nervous system regulation, diet, movement, sleep, and supplements so that you can reset your brain in 30 days. So if you're interested in that as well, you can check out the link in the bio of this video to learn more.